Greetings of the day. Dear students, today we are going to study a famous poem, The Tiger by William Blake. First of all, let us see the text of the poem. Tiger, tiger burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil, what dread grasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? And when the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamp make thee? Tiger, tiger burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? Here we see that William Blake is charmed by the beauty and the robustness of the tiger, which is a cat, which belongs to the cat family, and it is a bigger form than the domestic cat that we see, and it is wild in nature. He says, tiger, tiger burning bright. Burning bright means shining bright. In the forests of the night, tiger usually roams about in the forest during night. So he says, O tiger, O mighty tiger, who roam about in the forest during the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? Who has framed you? Who has made you? Who has created you? You are so symmetrical, so beautiful in your make, and yet you are fearful. And fearful here is not used in the negative sense. It is used in a positive sense, in an appreciative sense, that you are very robust and very large and very gigantic. Then he says, what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? The fire, the shine, the brilliance in your eyes is so much so that it doesn't look like it belongs to this world. So what is that distant world from where the brightness or the shine of your eyes has been imported? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? On what wings dare he aspire? What is the imagination that your maker has used while framing your external being and putting the very significant, very specific characters into your being? What the hand dare seize the fire? And you are so fiery to look at, so burning hot to look at, so robust to look at. How was the maker able to make you? Because he needs to have a very strong hand to handle you, which are almost a ball of burning fire. And what shoulder and what art, and what shoulder and what art, what strength was involved in making you, could twist the sinews of thy heart. Your heart, the heart of the tiger is very strong. The tiger is a very brave and very daring animal. So he says the sinews of your heart were twisted by hands and shoulders which were very, very brave and strong. What were those shoulders? Whose were those shoulders? Who was your maker? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet. And when your heart began to beat after making your external frame, when your maker put life into you and you really began to breathe as a living being, a living tiger, was he not afraid after making you? Was he not afraid of his own creation? What the hammer, what the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? Then he asks, what the hammer, what the chain? Now he here draws a similarity between the maker and a blacksmith. Just like a blacksmith beats a burning red hot iron, in the same manner he asks, what was the hammer used to frame you in such a strong manner? What the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? In what furnace were you made? Because it must have required a very strong furnace to hold a ball of fire like you. What the anvil, what dread grasp, dare its deadly terrors clasp? And what the anvil, and the anvil which would have held you while in the process of making should have been very strong and very capable of handling such a fiery hot creation like you. What dread grasp dare its deadly terror clasp? And you are so terrible to look at. Terrible again here does not mean a negative in a negative sense. Terrible here means it is magnificence. The magnificence of the tiger is great. So he says that how could your maker make such a terrible creation and then hold you in his hands? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he, your maker, smile his work to see? Did your maker appreciate his own work? When he saw that all the other forces of creation are smiling and appreciating and congratulating in an oblique manner, did they, when they were appreciating you, did the maker feel great about his own creation? Did he smile at his creation? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Now again he asks, did he, the person who made the lamb, the person means the energy, the divine energy, who made the lamp, was the maker of the very simple and very submissive lamp, and the maker of a robust tiger. The same divine energy, did the same God make you? And here lamb also stands for, symbolically, for Jesus Christ, and lamb also stands for the submission that the writer has, or an individual has, for before God, before his maker. Tiger, tiger burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? So here in the last lines, in the form of a chorus for students, there are some very important words to know about this poem. First of all, the word tiger, T-Y-G-E-R, is the same T-I-G-E-R which we used in the current situation. A big wild animal of the cat family, generally found in jungles. Then burning bright means shining beautifully. Immortal, deathless. Frame, structure. Fire of thine eyes, shine in your eyes. Aspire, aim or seek. Seize, grasp or grab. Twist, screw. Sinews, muscles. Hammer, an instrument used to beat red hot iron. Furnace, heater or boiler or oven. Anvil, a heavy block on which hot metals are shaped. Clasp, catch, spears, spikes. So these are some important words which students need to know while going through the poem, and it is a very famous poem of William Blake which you should memorize for references because the context is very popular. Thank you.